see if we are live here. Alright, guys. Alright. And there we go. Believe that's it anyway. Are we tuned in here? Yes! Okay. Welcome back to the pack, guys, and welcome to week 55 of Arena, the Arena Watch podcast. Nobody's tuned in. I don't know where anybody is right now. I have no idea what's going on. Hey, we got Trop. That's the one that counts. Let's see if they could hear you. We got the Dragon Master himself. How do we do this week?
I managed to pull through this week, first place, and it's a bit of a scary week because, for context, like on the last day, not a lot of people seem to lose points. Like last week, I had lost 8, so I was 60th on day 6, and then I ended up 48th, 48th on day 7, and now going into it, -8 was 65, so it could be anyone's guess. You know, more people could lose points, less people could lose points. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it would have been fine. It was an easy week going into it, and the way I lost points was kind of not paying attention to Mom. Yeah, with Mom, she was faster than my Claria, which I already knew, there was a chance she could be. This is why I always threw extra agility gear onto my Claria or onto my Vendor Ghost to stun her. But even if I stun her with Vendor Ghost, if I don't, finish her off with Claria, there's nothing I could really do there. So it kind of ran into issues. I already made the mistake of taking on Ragnar head on, which I shouldn't have done. I should have had my physical unit be a little faster than my snooze unit, so he wouldn't have woke anybody up. So Ragnar should have been asleep, first of all. He took a hit, which I didn't get crit from, which is alright. But then I rolled on Ragnar and somebody else instead of Mom and that somebody else, who I can't remember. So I just didn't have the damage to finish off Mom before she had the chance to make her action. She used her coup de grace. I think she would have killed me even without. No, she wouldn't have, because it costs more MP, right? So maybe she would have used her other ability, but that would have had a chance to crit too. So no matter how you spin it, it would have been bad. I really should have focused on Mom, and I could have, between that roll, between a sizzle, and between a Kazam, she would have died. So I could have definitely done that. I could have definitely finished her off, and then maybe, I don't know, dealt with the Ragnar somehow else, some way else, really. Just lived with it. But yeah, that was my only mistake. Then at that point, I just double rolled, got a double agility roll on Claria's staff, made sure that would never happen again. So she's sitting at 453 with the Brigadine. And with the liquid metal jacket, she would be even faster than that. So she's pretty fast now. And I'm looking to get her Awakened Plus. Like, the first thing I'm going for is agility, right? On her. First thing is agility. And then I'll probably put a little bit of wisdom into her, obviously. But it's mostly going to be agility. My agility will always be 1 point higher than whatever I have invested in her wisdom, let's say. But yeah, I think that sums up the week for me. It was very easy. I didn't go for, having a... This time around, you didn't need a theme for your team, You didn't need to go the Dragon Physical. You didn't need to go the Dragon Breath team. You didn't need to go with the Beast Physical team. There was no theme this week that was particularly important. There's so many units that are just strong on their own that they don't need any sort of boost. I mean, you could have a generalized attack up like Slon has, but Slon's, crap. So bringing him's no good. So if they gave another unit, physical potency up, that would have been great for me this week. Or just general spell potency up. But I think I just went with the Zam leadership from Vendor Ghost, because it was like the only one that actually boosted himself. a little bit. So I don't know. No theme, all CC, all damage, really. It all kind of just worked. I didn't need much else. And as you guys saw with my last matches, when I did fix Claria's agility, there's no real problem unless they like straight up gave Mom Beastmaster's Claw, in which case her damage would probably go down significantly. So that wouldn't have been bad either. I don't know though. Yeah, so it's just range, high mobility, high agility. All those things is what I used. We haven't gotten any chats here though, so let me try and post this on the Reddit and Discords here. Yeah, but going into this week, Dragons Enhanced. What do we think about that?
I think it's kind of nice, but the dragons always get shafted because it doesn't also increase breath by 25%, which is like the most important part. But
it might matter later with the halberds and Bodon combo. Well, actually both Bodons, right? Because if his attack goes up, his spell goes up, right, in damage, the Doruora. And the regular Bodon, not the Dragonoid Bodon, he has, all of his stuff goes up too. His wisdom, his attack for Kazap or whatever else. And that's all really good for... He's a good arena unit. He has Kasnooze, for crying out loud. That's a very good ability. That's stupid good. There's times I wish I had that this week on an A or B rank unit. It would have been very nice to have. So, okay, let me head to the Reddit. And then when you look at this map, though, what do you notice with this map specifically?
I noticed that it's another map where Dimension Dragon can't go through obstacles because he only has 3 moves.
Aside from that, it's also a map that we've never had before. Somewhat. There's an extra... New? Yeah, it's completely new. Like, the layout, there's... Obviously, the 2 pillars in the middle is usual. But the pillar behind Dolmagus in this picture here is a bit atypical. You notice that?
Well, that is true.
Yeah, so it's just a bit unusual here. I thought I'd point that out.
That one is new for sure, yeah.
Oh, do we have Celery?
Hello?
I know that there wouldn't be any girl talking in the background for Trop's videos. I mean, for his his cam.
Yeah, we'd have to call the police if that were the case.
You never know. He might have, enticed a girl from back home in his, his home village with the arena scores he gets every week. He's prime meat over there. So.
Exactly. Pat gets it. You just take him back from the village.
Take him from back home from the village, of course. He's a rare commodity there. He has the second-rate Canadian green card scheme that he could offer up.
Well, that's actually an upgrade. Initially, you called it third-rate, so we're going places now. It's only second.
Well, it's second. To the U.S., it's second grade, right? You're not a third world country. Third grade would just be keeping it the same to Eastern Europe, roughly. All right, let's read the chat. We got Tsar Peter, Lord Giovanni's back. I didn't think of the Bodons. I usually go with GD and Boreal or something. I think the Bodons are going to be really good this week, both of them. And since most people have access to the regular Bodon, obviously he has 3 move and a Kazap spell, so he has the range, more range than, frickin' Zoma would for, he probably has the same amount of wisdom Zoma would have, but this week with more movement. So he's a perfectly viable unit to use this week, and I mean, you guys see that, like, the insane damage he already has with his physical move, but his Kazap is, for consistency in arena, is a little better, right? So he's gonna have somewhat of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Ricard, or Dickard as I call him, Dickard effect, where typically he's not used as a mage, but the fact that his Kasiz has more range, right, than his physical ability, and he has 3 move, he effectively acts as a 3 move, 3 range caster that he typically wouldn't act as on a hero week. Hero week has him boosted, spell week, stuff like that, Sizz week. Ricard can do a lot more. He doesn't have the damage usually, but then on that kind of boosted week he would. So he already has the consistency with the movement. So that's all you really need to look for in arena is consistency. And I think this is very consistent zap damage. If you could get him to be any bit fast, he could maybe hit a lot of people with that. You never know. Like KSS, he could do a lot of damage to KSS and some of the other zap weak units in arena. He's just missing neutral damage. What's up?
I think Celery's lagging, at least for me. I just see the loading circle.
I don't see anything as far as Celery's concerned. Let me check here. No, I don't see anything. I think he's just, he froze his camera on purpose, I'm thinking. I could be wrong, but yeah.
He wants to make his identity secret.
No, he's family man. He's a family guy. Alright, so we need to make the AW and Slimecicle collab happen. Was there supposed to be an AW Slimecicle collab that I don't know about? Okay. So why only 2 tonight? Oh, there's Celery. Okay, where the KSSs should be able to normal use jumps is to keep KSS behind. Yeah. So this is still a very good KSS map. So definitely, even if you go dragons, you're still bringing KSS. And if Queen Slime was blossomed, you'd bring her too, basically. Yeah, so you could slot in even a Halloween King if you wanted to, theoretically. Obviously, Halloween King's a bit different than KSS. You kind of want him to jump in. And that doesn't really matter for consistency because you're assuming his occasional follow-up doesn't happen, right, with Halloween King. So this map technically is fine. But for the defense mode, if you want to cost people points, Halloween King, you want him to jump in. You want him to be in range of other people, so that way he does his follow-up. What else is there? So, I mean, you technically could use him. He just doesn't do a lot of damage. He would be fine on a Zam or Marshall week, though. Just for the consistency, for his ridiculous range while staying back and other things. And so there's no overlap, because there's a lot of overlap with a lot of units. Okay, so I would still go Marshall with this map. What do you guys think? I would still do Marshall. I might bring a dragon, but I don't know. Like, I could do a mix of Marshall and dragon. I could bring Bodon and maybe just all Marshall if I wanted to. What do you guys think? What are you guys doing with this map? I'm assuming we won't have Celery for a little bit here.
Maybe replace Metal Dragon for Baron?
Metal Dragon. Yeah, probably. They roughly have the same range, right? So, except you don't need the middle tile to get the extra plus range that, Metal Dragon needs a target, right? To make sure he gets the range in, whereas Bodon wouldn't need the target in the middle. So for him it's different. So I don't know. Yeah, either or really.
Because I think I use Great Dragon normally, so I don't see why I wouldn't use him this week. Like,
No, he'd be fine
he
this
doesn't
week.
gain much, but he is faster.
Yeah, honestly, he would be faster. He would be tankier. You can't go wrong with that. You'd literally just give him more HP and call it a day. No, not even. You just give him the breath claws and call it a day. Just more damage, I guess. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, his physical attack even would be nasty if he was in range. So what would be interesting is if he did breath and he got a Dolmagus low enough, like specifically your Dolmagus, right? And he might want to finish it off with the physical because now he has a boosted, attack stat. He might want to finish it off with the physical, which is actually good for you, possibly. That could be a very good thing. Looks like Giovanni's saying, I thought it was bought on like Karen, but Baron. No, it's bought on, but not Karen. But I haven't seen anything of the anime. Yeah, well, that's Japanese. It's if a letter's spelled with an A, it's pronounced as an A. It's not like English where we have like diphthongs and other weird oddities with our vowel sounds, like French, Germanic, Latin, Greek. Like English does that kind of weird stuff, but Japanese is just Japanese. So ba, da, n. So it's very simple. And even the n sound in Japanese is weird. It's like It's like the ng, like bing or sing. It's also like the m sound. It's also like the n sound. It's just all of those fused together, like It's the weirdest thing, I swear. But that's how it sounds, at least from what I've heard. Anyway, Return of KSS says, proclaims Skull over here. Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. We're pretty good. We got the Dragon Lord as the expert this week, but I think this week is pretty well summed up. Obviously there are A ranks like Boreal that will see a massive boost, right? With this kind of thing. He's gonna still breath on turn 1. But when he rushes in for the rolling attack on turn 2, it's gonna be pretty devastating. Not to mention his agility and HP stat are gonna be insane. So I don't know, you guys really could build him however you want. He's gonna be pretty crazy. So I'm not really even looking at the dragons this week. I'm not looking at Dimension Dragon. You should probably not bring him. I don't have him, so I wouldn't. But you still could bring Great Dragon. He is still going to be very great. Halberd, it's like you can. He does roll. So maybe on turn 2, you never know. It might actually hit harder than this is. And the fact that it's typeless, it could do things. So there's a lot of options with dragons this week. Just don't expect that their breath is going to be stronger, because it's not. It's not. So I would still go for a hybrid team. Go for it.
Yeah, I remember seeing a good number of halberds during physical week, and his rolling attack is nothing to scoff at when he's boosted.
Yeah, because he does have attack up for a little bit.
Because most weeks, he never rolling attacks. Unless you're all Sizz resistant, rolling attack will never outdamage his breath. But when he's got that boost, like physical week or this week, he will go for the rolling attack, which still won't do a ton of damage, but it can crit.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a much more threatening enemy during weeks when his physical is boosted, because he's still very tanky. He's very difficult to finish off before he can act. And with that boosted attack, he's gonna rolling attack, and 1% of the time that ruins your week. Mm-hmm. Or maybe even 2 to 3 if there's multiple units in range.
I guess I guess so, and it's even more relevant with his leadership, right? His leadership or Dragonoid Bodon's leadership being Dragon Attack, 20%,
Yep.
was it?
Yeah.
Dragon Physical,
yeah,
20%?
you could absolutely see if someone's running Dragonoid Baron,
That's
fine. I think Halberd's a pretty solid option going in there, and it definitely more threatening on defense than on offense. But
I think
not
raising
a terrible.
I think raising Dragon Attack by 20% is a lot more scary than just raising potency by 20%.
They're relatively similar most of the time. It's just that Baran's breath or his spell scales off of attack. So
it scales off of attack and it is a spell,
boost
so
it.
yeah, exactly. So if you do have Dragonoid Bodon, you definitely want to give him the leadership, but if you don't, and you're just going to bring your regular Bodon and some of your other dragon units like Boreal and whatnot, your only option really is Halberd, and it's a viable option this week. I'm not going to say it's not. It really is. It really is a viable option. So I wouldn't say it's the most optimal thing in the world, but it's completely viable this week. Especially if you're planning on bringing him anyway, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, Giovanni commented about Boreal getting KO'd on the return hits. I run Boreal a lot. Mine is maxed, and I run max HP. I usually run triple HP sword and my highest HP armor on him. He's fast on his own, so he does all I care about is getting him maximum HP. So
fully bloomed slime is meta. What's up, Purplat? How you doing?
So, he is fairly fragile, but with 30% HP boost, which this week he'll have 25%, but he's usually running, I think, like 1460 HP in arena. So he'll be right around 1400 HP for me.
I would still make him fast. I faced a 5 awake one just on today's stream, and he was only like he was pretty slow. I want to say, right? Who was 416
like
agility?
444, I think, is what mine is.
At base?
Yeah, base. No agility.
I think the one I was against was like 416 or something. I don't know if he had reduction on her.
Probably had Hella's armor on him.
Did you guys see
he had absolutely no master rank, but I think Hella's armor is the more likely.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Why?
We're just ignoring you.
Yeah, we're just...
Dude, what a guy.
You don't have a commanding voice.
Did you guys see my Twitch stream yesterday? Because I was extremely surprised. I was taken on a team that was fairly high CP, but I thought, okay, this won't be too bad. The fucking Boreal had 497 agility, so they purposely gave it even more agility item, and the Percival had like 499 or something, and I'd have to go back and see. So I had to clear that whole side of the map. The only part I was a bit lucky is that Boreal wasn't placed in the middle. Because if that Boreal was placed in the middle, with the agility it had, I would have been in trouble. Or at least I think I would have, if they were placed like pretty...
This past week, I did run agility on Boreal quite often because Claria is fairly fast. And Boreal plus... Pruslus was my... Not Claria, sorry. Mam. Mam is fairly fast and resists Frizz. So I was running agility on Boreal for, probably about a third of my matches whenever I'd run. I did a lot of, like I said, probably a third. So maybe about 7 of my matches were against Mam and Kiefer. And... I ran my Boreal Claria team to handle Mam and Kiefer. So
I was surprised by how many Kiefers we still saw this week.
What's up?
I was surprised by how many Kiefers we still saw this week.
I saw a ton of Kiefers, yeah.
I was shocked that I'm still facing Ragnar's, too. I thought he would be gone.
I did see like 2 or 3 Ragnars. That's some impressive dedication right there. Man,
Ragnar's...
this guy's never been good, but I'm going to keep using him.
He was a nuisance, too, when he was first out. He wasn't good on your team to use, but at the same time, he was an enemies, because if he crit, you're dead.
Yep.
So...
Just that typeless, like, super bulky, high enough
He was resistant to frizz. Like, I hated it. It was annoying. High defense. He was hard to kill. Especially, oh my goodness, on the first A and below weeks, he was stupid hard to kill.
He was an absolute monster, like just super obnoxious.
Too much HP for 2 turns? Heck no.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, Giovanni said he's been using the Dragon Crack Breath ×3. Yeah, that's Boreal is way too fragile for that in my experience. You just run full HP, be able to take a hit or two. Great Dragon. If I really just both of because I run that pair, the Great Dragon plus Boreal, and I really like running HP on both of them. I don't take advantage of the dragons having some pretty solid bulk. Like a couple points of damage doesn't do a whole lot with the. It might this week. This week's not HP boosted, so Great Dragon with claws can probably actually go back to one-shotting a good amount of stuff. So that's a good point to raise. Boreal though, too risky. And Great Dragon has some really solid. I think this week he's going to be over 500 defense. If you had it. So over 500 defense and probably like
So we're gonna see a lot of him then. I mean, even if you're assuming that somebody crits on you when you have that much defense, technically his HP is not all. I mean, it's less than it would have been on a normal week for 30%. Now it's at 25, but at least everybody else isn't boosted, right? Just dragons.
Yeah,
so that helps a lot. But it's like
that helps him a lot.
You're assuming you get crit though, so his defense is not going to be always what we're counting. But for the enemy, certainly we're assuming that their defense is there and present. So we're going to see a lot of great dragons. How are you going to deal with a great dragon? Let's go straight into the counters. I know that sounds weird because we haven't established much else yet, but we already said we're going to see a lot of great dragons, halberds, a lot of these other free units like Bodon maybe. We might see Boreals and stuff. There's a lot of dragons I'm missing. I'm definitely missing quite a few that would be relevant for this week, but...
Heligator.
Fantastic. Solid. Avoid that guy. Don't face Heligator. There's no reason to. There's no reason.
That's
it's cease and desist. It's run on site if you see Heligator.
Yeah. That's what I think. I'm pretty sure he's Sizz and Crack resist. I know he's Crack resist. I think the other one was Sizz. And he just has a massive HP pool. He's got, if you let him act, which he's going to be fast because of the 25% agility, he has a good chance of getting evasion. He's going to be a huge pain to deal with this week. Let's see. As far as Great Dragon I've found in recent weeks has been more of a pain because I've been tending to run Duel. This week I probably won't be running Duel, but I think Boreal will come in handy for Great Dragon being able to soak an ice without any issues.
Could he?
Then hit back with neutral.
Yeah, I could see that.
Let's see. Whoosh week. Yep, Die and Die has Whoosh and also has Zap on turn 2, I think. But Nocturnus is always going to be popular for every week till at least 1.5 anniversary. So
at least people are going to suffer against the Great Dragon because they think they're going to be able to one-shot him this week, and unless they crit, they're not, which is going to be hilarious.
I mean, he doesn't normally one-shot Great Dragon anyway. So.
Well, I mean, even with what's it called? Even with Cleave, he probably wouldn't want kill him. Like if someone else cleaved Great Dragon and then he went in to hit him, he probably wouldn't be able to kill him. And that's just going to be so funny.
He's definitely going to hit significantly lower damage this week than he used to.
Which is funny for me. I like seeing it stuck, to the frickin' Die Hard. Oh, I got the best unit in the game. He's top on JP's tier. He must have, he must be the best unit ever. And they bring him every week.
Yeah.
Not knowing how to synergize their team, how to build a team. They just build the unit, expect to win. Pay to win, kind of like what Chase thought the game was supposed to be. I bought the unit that's supposed to win me the game. Now I'm supposed to win the game. Come on.
I did face someone in Arena one week that had Nocturnus, Malroth, Seraphine, Duel, their Arena team.
He just read that straight off the wiki or something.
And the Duel and the Nocturnus were unawakened.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think people understand that it's the first awakening that makes Duel. Yeah, I see that sometimes.
Yeah, I have a hard time ever seeing when it would be worth bringing a 0 awake Duel. But
I think Die is what? He's he's water, and then he is not water. So the wave slash is crack, and I think the Avon Strash or whatever it's called is Zap.
Yep.
Because he has well, it's specifically not even an Avon Strash in the anime. He does one where he does zap or kazap on his sword, and then he does this technique. So he kind of like pairs them together, I guess. I don't know. If they didn't do that for the animation where he's kazapping his own sword, then they ruined it, because now if they want to bring in a future iteration of Die where he should do that, it won't happen now. So I don't know. Double U, such a pity. Such a pity. But overall, I wouldn't be too worried about GD so long as I prepare for the early attack from it. Yeah, could be. Does Die have Whoosh, though? What's his Earth Slash or whatever? Yeah. Does he?
His Earth Slash is neutral, but he's got a 1 to 3 range Whoosh attack.
What's it called?
1 to 3 range Whoosh attack? I don't have that.
Is it a B rank or A rank? Is his Earth Slash a B rank ability?
Yeah, it's like slashing edge, but can drop defense.
Oh, that's terrible. They bastardized the story behind it, you know. It just feels wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It feels wrong. It's weird because in the anime that ability would be stronger than anything Mom or Pop could cast. And in the game it's like no. Mom and Pop and Crocodile are all A rank units. That makes sense in the anime. At the point they are in the story, it makes heck if they brought in their teacher Avon. If they had him in the earlier point in the story, even he would be an A rank. He's not that strong. Kind of an A rank. I don't know. If he was a hero for an S rank, they would have to make him 50 weight because he's pretty bad. But I don't know. All right, but heading back into the week, so we got all those options weighed out. We're looking at the map. It still looks like a Marshall map to me, or, you know, a 3-move, 3-range kind of map to me.
Yeah.
KSS works. A lot of these other units work.
Yeah, I'm definitely bringing KSS, and
Are you
I'm
still
glad-
bringing Dolmagus? Even though there could be breaths, you know, and other stuff that could kill him.
almost certainly not. Dual Magus is going to be a huge risk if.
But what if the breath takes you in range of the physical attack, and then they switch to physical? Do you see what? Because they're conserving mana, right? It's happened to me before.
But that's also only if they can't target any other units with the breath while finishing off the duel.
And they might not want to, because their physical attack, if they're rolling, let's say, if it's a halberd or a boreal, they're definitely going to roll on turn. Like if you move before them, or if it's turn 2 or whatever the case is, they're definitely going to try to roll or something, and you're going to survive that. And you're immune to physical, basically. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm mostly looking at bouncing around some of these other units. I won't be running a full dragon team, but you know, Halberd is there as an option. Great Dragon is there as an option. Boreal, even though mine is only 2 awake, is there as an option. And Bodon. They're all there as options that I might, you know, just to get the little benefit out. I don't need to make a whole dragon team, but we'll see. So that's what I'm going for with this map in mind.
Hey.
I don't know about the Dolmagus. I'm gonna have to run a few tests on that before I'm confident. But I think there are, you know, teams he could definitely still face up against, especially if this guy used him in his match and I took the screenshot here. He gets first every week with free-to-play team. So, so if he's using it, it's good enough for me, right? Assumably. But yeah, what else is going to be released within the week? We're getting Dragon Quest 11. So we're going to have units from there, assumably.
Is it Veronica?
Mage Veronica,
It's the banner.
She has an A rank. Is it any good? The dragon?
Dragon A rank. I have no idea.
Trop, do you know? Is he even here? Are you sleeping again, Trop? I would call him, but we're already in the call. He's AFK. I don't know what happened. He's probably snoozing. That's...
Do you know the dragon's name? I can look it up on the bot.
Well, it would be on their website. Let me see. I could pull up their event page here on the DQT hub. Okay, yeah, he lists the summary for the event. So Minikube already posted the wiki page to it. Oh, we are getting Jade, and she's relevant for Arena and PvE, so that's worth noting.
Alright.
It's not
Is
showing
it-
the gotcha here.
Is it Jarvis?
I don't know.
Card. Jarvis. Alright, yes, it is Jarvis. He is an A rank with Snooze, White Ice, and Magic Melting Breath. Which I assume reduces spell resist?
So White Ice is a B plus fan breath.
The B rank fan breath.
It's the B plus fan breath, basically.
And
So it's does a little bit more damage than the 27 MP breath. It does basically the same amount as Blizz. What was Boreal's breath before the new one?
Freezing breath or something.
Yeah, freezing blizzard or something.
Blizzard.
And it's like that, just with more AoE, and it costs still a lot of MP. They haven't reduced it. They only reduced all the A rank abilities. So now, ironically enough, this is like one of the most expensive. Yeah, exactly. White Ice costs more than the Ice does. So they need to fix that. But since they haven't, this is pretty much has a use in Arena. But MP cost-wise, it everywhere else wouldn't. Trop, did you wake up there?
Yeah, I was just... Was it one of my talking points? I just went to quickly clean out my car.
Oh, we thought you dozed off again.
No, I'm here.
What was I trying to call Trop out for?
Yeah, the Veronica A rank.
But we figured it out anyway, so yeah. Snooze is always a good ability to have as a C rank ability on a unit by default, so that way, you know, you could teach him another CC ability if he needs it, but his movement's only 2, so it's not that good. So I don't know if, and he's most certainly not going to be a threat. He's a breath unit, so he's not going to see any specific use this week. And there's no one really else farmable from Dragon Quest XI that's worth noting that will be used this week for the dragon stuff. So I don't know. It was weird that they even chose dragon for the start of, you know, DQ11. Maybe the next week is a relevant.
I'm guessing it's mainly for the bottoms.
The bottom. Yeah, to finish that off. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, Dragonoid is going to be an absolute terror to deal with.
And I don't think they were supposed to overlap like this, right? Like, they extended the event, so it's like, I don't know if it was supposed to overlap like this. But yeah, so all that in a cup of tea. Let's see. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers relevant units. I can't think of any other physical dragon units that are worth mentioning. Do you guys? It's really just Bottom and Dragonoid Bottom. But yeah, so we saw what we're going to see. What are some permutations we'll have with this 240 weight here? Specifically relevant to, I don't know, the fact that you want to fit in a Boreal and some of these other units. You probably want to fit them in, so you're going to have an A rank.
Yeah.
Do you want 2 A ranks? Do you want to go any Dark Lords, perhaps, to counter anybody?
I'm not sure.
I mean,
It's hard to counter breaths, because, I mean, breaths just go through everything.
People can use that weird strategy, the weird statue, to do breath res, I guess.
the statue.
Yeah, ice sculpture. Does he? Yeah, he has. Does he? I think he does.
Yeah, it's AoE breath res. I'm glad they gave it just such a shitty unit, so that nobody's gonna use it.
It might come up in some sort of PvE thing. I don't know. Insulate.
Could,
yeah,
yeah,
he does. He does. He has insulate. That's so weird.
Yep.
It's worth noting. You might be able to use it this week. All right.
Yeah. So I'm guessing the most common permutation that I'll be running will be 4 S ranks and Boreal. If I were to run 2 A ranks, the next one is probably Heligator. 2 A ranks puts you to 170. So that would be 2 S ranks and a Dark Lord. Probably Nocturnus for whoosh damage and heavy neutral.
Is there anything
Possibly,
dragons are weak to other than poison?
What's up?
Is there anything dragons are weak to other than poison?
Charm.
Oh, if you get the 10% or 12% roll on Jade's weapon, right? What's her charm rate? Is it 20% or 40%? Because that's gonna make all the difference in the world.
I think 40.
And it can't be increased, right? By ranking up the ability, but it could be increased by the weapon. Let me see. 40%, 170% zap physical damage to all enemies within range. It's her Thunder Thrust. Tenrai Large Wheel. Let's see what that is. 250% power zap physical to all enemies within the thing. And then she has Pink Typhoon, 240 whoosh physical on all enemies within range, rarely fascinating them. That's unfortunate.
Oh, it's rarely? Shit.
It's rarely. That's unfortunate. And I don't know if the claw is just general. I'm assuming it's for Pink Typhoon. With a
4% buff, probably not general, on an A rank weapon.
With a 4% buff? Yeah, it's probably not general.
The general buffs we've seen have been 2%. Like the Lollipop stun boost and Vera's axe bind boost. They've been 2% boosts.
That's unfortunate, because I was hoping, we could at least plop it onto... It wouldn't get her to 50%, but it would get her pretty high for some sort of PvE content for Jessica, but... Man, we don't...
Asian, so she could get to 50% with a perfect or close to perfect roll. But I don't think it's going to be general. I think it's just going to be Pink Typhoon. I could check. I could really check. It's... Yeah, I mean, if someone gets Jade leveled up really quick, or even there's a whole week. So if they focus on getting Jade up, she's definitely a threat to Great Dragon and a threat to most of the dragons with Charm. She probably wouldn't go for Charm against Halberd because he resists whoosh, but she could easily go for it against Great Dragon, either whoosh or zap, depending on what she's in range for. Okay, so I have it pulled up, and I think it's going to be Pink Typhoon. Yes, wait. Power... It's not saying. Oh, yes, it is Pink Typhoon. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So even if you had 4%, 4%, 4%, 12% on rarely... That's sad, man. That's not even as good as Jessica, just by default. But she does, at rank 5, she does have, on all her attacks, she gets a little bit of extra charm chance. But that's not that good, because that's a separate roll, as we've seen from Drachima. It's a separate roll, if you guys remember. So, just like how Drachima could double snooze somebody and just put them straight into deep sleep, the chance for the attack doesn't stack onto the thing. It rolls separate, which is so annoying. They should have just made it stack. I know it sounds OP, but they should have done it. They should have done it, because it would have been like, okay, so she gets like 10% from her passive. She starts off with 20. Hits 30. Then she could at least get to 42 max. That's not bad.
You know. Let me double check though, because she might have with her rank 5, it might be higher.
I see sexy body. I don't see the on attack one.
It doesn't say on attack?
When she's hit, not when she attacks.
Oh, when she's hit. Okay, never mind. I read that wrong then. Yeah, there you go. Well, that clears that up.
Only when she's hit with physical or martial, just like
yeah.
Queen She Slime, or not Queen She, Queen Slime.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica, same perk.
Or like Man of War, but not paralysis.
Yep.
But yeah, okay, so that sums that up. I think when I'm looking at the wiki page, the only thing relevant then that I could see that is going to affect this week is not that equipment, but some other equipment here, which is the mage robes. You could definitely save those for Bodon, and those are pretty good robes that you could roll on. Wait, can he even equip robes?
No, he's attack roll.
Okay, so
the only robes he can equip is the pink princess robes.
Okay, that's probably what I'm gonna give him then. Are you for regular Bodon? Would you recommend people build him for attack or for spell? Because I would recommend spell. Just for the consistency. I know the physical is gonna hit way harder, but I don't know if it needs the boost.
Yeah, I don't think his physical needs the boost this week. You of course you have a pretty nice option in the Paranel staff. If you've rolled that for Kazap potency.
Mm-hmm.
So you can guarantee starting out with a pretty nice chunk of damage by using that. The only, and I don't even know if you would, I wouldn't necessarily build for attack. The only other thing would be maybe building for HP.
Or agility.
Because
maybe Hadler's Claw.
Agility.
You can't build him for agility?
I don't think you need to.
How fast is he?
Probably fast enough with a 25% boost.
But how much is he at base? Because hold on, I don't have him at max awake quite yet.
So, let's see, units.
He's 328 with 4 awake.
You don't
be up in the,
I don't.
So that puts him
I'm missing
up,
6 of the Crocodine friendship stones, which I'm saving for later. I'm going to farm Bodon's sword when I full clear. Hopefully full clear the that stage.
EX or hell.
Yeah, the EX. One of the two EXs. I need to do both EXs anyway, so whatever. Something like that. So yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead.
The only other thing besides the consistent Kazap damage is if you're using him specifically as a King She Slime or Squid counter, I think, are two of the big Zap weak units. Great Dragon too, I guess. You could bait any of them really with a heavy resist unit, and then your Baron can move up and hit with the Giga Slash.
He has heavy Sizz and crack res. That's so good this week. Or in general. I mean, like, that's really good. I'm shocked. So yeah, I think Bodon's going to be a sleeper unit. That's great. His resistances are amazing.
Yep, Sizz and Crack are going to be really good resistances with how good Great Dragon and King She Slime are this week. So yeah, he can soak a hit from King She Slime or Great Dragon, and then as long as you've positioned him properly, he can run up in between the pillars and next to them and hit them with the Giga Break. Of course, being slower than them, he would have a chance to miss. So you could, of course, run him faster, Kazap turn 1, and then Giga Break turn 2. If you can get him faster, which you probably can get him faster than King She Slime, you probably can't get him faster than Great Dragon. So, with Great Dragon, you may end up just Kazapping anyway to digital communism, make sure you get the guaranteed damage rather than risking that game-altering miss.
That's probably how I'd do it. I mean, I might even give him Hadler's Claws. Like, I'm that antsy about agility.
Well, yeah, for King She Slime, but I'm saying for Great Dragon, I don't think it's going to matter what you put on him. I don't think he'll get fast enough to outspeed a Great Dragon.
Oh no, yeah, no, for sure no. So I would stick to using the Kazap because he couldn't miss against Great Dragon with that. So.
Yep. Yeah, just play it safe.
I mean, the fact that he has Kasnooze already is just amazing for KSS. He just counters everybody. He just counters so many people.
He's a really solid unit. Something we really needed with how rare zap damage is in the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's anything you guys want to note other than what we've mentioned? Maybe what we're gonna bring. I think we've said what we're gonna bring. How we're gonna counter the units that we're going to end up seeing this week. Anything that slipped our notice, like maybe a permutation like AAABB like it did last week that I pretty much ended up using the entire week?
Really? I turned in late. I don't generally watch the streams. I've been too busy. I didn't use AABB at all. I ran 4 A's and Saber Cub every single match, like I said I would.
Most of my matches consisted of Dark Saber Cub, Spikegeist, Vendor Ghost, Claria, and Red Robin Hood.
Wow, yeah, that's such a different team than I ran.
Yeah, I had them CC'd the whole time. Heavy CCs all around. Man.
Yeah, I guess that's since I turned in late. If you check the leaderboard, I did make it through the whole week. So.
Yeah, I only messed up once. That was an agility error, and then it was an error on my part after that. Was not good. I could have won that match, so it had nothing to do with my team. Had to do with how I played it. But yeah, that's enough about that. I think I wanted to go into Lord Giovanni's article. He sent this to me actually on Discord. See if I can't get this pulled open here. I'm going to try and see if I can't shift around the whole setup we have going here. Okay, so the audio capture is still here and here, so they could still hear us even in scene 3. What I would like to do is add maybe our appearances here. Display capture, is it window capture? Window capture. Discord capture? Window capture. Okay. Which window? Pack on air. Here we go. We'll shift this around somewhere here. So we won't be able to see the chat from here, but that's okay. We can take peeks at the chat if we need to here. But yeah, let's take a look at the article he has here. We'll go here and we'll go. Is it here? Is this the article? And I think you guys could give a good input on this. I'm pretty pooped, I'm not gonna lie. So I think he wanted to talk. I think he has most of this. Have you guys read through this before? First of all,
what is the article though?
He's ranking the blossoms. I think there's a PvE rank and a PvP rank. And then general, just basic notations of what they get. and their usage. And that's it, pretty much. And then he includes, say, credits for people if they did help out with stuff.
I don't think I've watched it at all or seen it.
Let me send this in the group chat here so that way you guys could see it on your screens. I think that would make it a bit bigger rather than watching the stream. And
I think you can just link it in the YouTube video too if Trop is watching the YouTube video.
I have no
idea. I'm just on the Discord because I'm on my phone.
Oh, there we go. So, we got that. Alright, I'll throw it in the chat too while I'm at it here. I'll link it. Might as well so the viewers can follow along if they're at this point in the video.
Yeah.
It's a useful thing here anyway, so. Alright, so let's read through what Giovanni is saying. 12% on a 10%, so 40 for... Yeah, it wasn't that, so I was wrong. 12% on... Was it very rare or was it rarely? It was rarely. The base is rarely, so it's...
Yeah, base is rare.
So 12% is the max roll, which you're not getting 12%. But 12% is the max roll, so that's 64% with brilliance. Or whatever the equivalent of that. Yes, weakness. Oh, Dapper Pickle said hi, I missed that. Looks like all dragons outside of Bodon, Dragonoid have the same weakness, Charm, and Poison. Wait, what weakness does Bodon and Dragonoid have?
Paralysis, I guess.
Oh, great. We would have recommended that. Heck, okay, bring Paralysis. Okay, I already know what I'm going to do now. Bring your Burning Breaths. Now, Dolmagus is perfect if you haven't built that way, or, in my case, Spikegeist. Or some other unit. Frickin' your Bulldozer, even. Right, Trop? Did you end up using Burning Breath at all this week?
I did, actually. A few times. I ended up using the Burning Breath. And I think once I ended up using the Snooze that I taught it. But if I had taught it Snooze 2 days before that, then I could have eliminated all risks this week, so...
kind of like if I had give agility to my Celery.
But luckily, even though I took some risks, it didn't go against me, which is good. So I finally won an AM below week. But now a lot of other people did too. So it's an interesting feeling. And there's probably, I think I counted over 100 people that lost 8 points, probably almost 200. So that cluster is going to be pretty big of people that lost exactly 8 points. So if you lose 12, you're not even making top 100. You'll probably barely make top 300 if you lost minus 12. So it's definitely a different world we live in now than what we used to live in.
Okay, so Bodon is weak to Paralyze, but Dragonoid's weak to Confusion.
Oh.
Yeah, and Curse and Blind are not relevant to Arena because they're not consistent. So those don't matter. But yeah, Paralysis and Confusion. So that's what we're working with. We obviously have a lot of strategies for that. I mean, Confusion, obviously. People are going to do that permutation of yours with the 65 weight. That would work pretty well, I could imagine. But he would be fast this week. I don't see... Doesn't Metazoa usually make his D-Bodon very slow? So he can't do that. So he has to go for the Blitz Voltron rather than the Control Voltron. He has to go all out, I think, because his units are going to be faster anyways. He might as well. So I think that would work. Yeah. So Confusion. It's going to be hard, though, using Confusion. You'll definitely have to bait him. Are there any spots? This is the one thing I don't think I talked about with this map. Are there any spots on the map that are... hold on. Let's go back to scene here. Are there any spots on this map where you could hide and stuff of the like and whatnot? Are there any safe tiles on this map?
Not really.
For against Dragonoid Bodon.
I mean,
No.
you're always going to have at least 2 spots, 2 or 3. Like, the side, wherever Baron isn't, assuming he's in one of those front 3.
Yeah.
Like, he can't reach the other corners, the far places from those each one.
So there'd be somewhere safe to put him, but you're still gonna eat something, right? Like it might be a ice breath from Great Dragon or something of that nature, but you're gonna eat some sort of breath with your Berimos, and Berimos is weak to crack. So I mean, he would survive. He would definitely survive the breath from Great Dragon.
Yeah.
So you just got to be careful.
The breath, as long as you, I think you're going to have to build him for HP because there's no HP boost.
Yeah.
And it would be really close if Baron with no HP gear survives, but I always build Berimos for HP anyway because he's not a damage unit, he's a CC unit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just build him with HP.
Okay.
But yeah, he can definitely take 1 ice. The problem being, yeah, I guess that works. He can tank an ice, or he can tank, a Kazap or a volcanic breath, and then confuse Dragonoid, which I think. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So I think no matter where the Dragonoid is, it may make your positioning awkward, but I think you can always position your whole team where he can't hit turn 1.
So Dapper's saying he's going to use Dragonoid, Swarsh, and Juliante, then fill in the gaps. That makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, you got enough for a
full Voltron. Yeah, he's going for the Blitz, I'm assuming. I would even think about giving Dragonoid agility, because he's slow, but he's at the cusp of being fast with this boost this week. So if you just gave him a little bit more, because he already has the damage, so you could give him like Pyramid Claws or something with attack and agility or something. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, I think
you want straight attack, so you'd want like straight attack on the claws.
Yeah, not potency.
Because any potency boosts aren't going to help you out.
Yeah, that's basically what I have for Golden Pyramid Claws is straight attack and agility, and then whatever base attack is on it. Everything prior to the chart is probably well known by you, Pack. It's a beginning guide of sorts, and I'm assuming so too. I was going to skip this. I was going to notate this, but I didn't want to talk over Celery. So just to acknowledge it and then move on, we got updates here. Giovanni does a good job of keeping us updated of what JP has. That's very good. He gives a lot of shout-outs to Marcos, Nocturne, the Arena Watch team. I've only just started. He already put the contribution there. What is blossoming? What does it cost? Yeah, these are all for sure. For sure, you guys, if you are beginners, you want to read all that. All these points for level 10, level 6. What is this? Talent points? Oh, yeah. That's expensive. I hate how talent points are so expensive. You just need so many to finish off a unit. It's stupid. So why this guide? Every method. Yep. Okay, let's go on to Elena. So, Elena, main use is Frizz, physical, obviously. So neutral, she also has neutral. So she could crit on the neutral as well. But yeah, Frizz, physical. Major nodes, Crimson Sweep move, +1, Marshall. And he put stars around the move +1, so I'm assuming that's what he thinks is most valuable. And I would agree. I think extra movement on a unit like Elena is very good. Minor nodes, crit, that's very relevant for her. PvE rank is 5. He gave Elena a 5 for PvE. I think it's gone down in recent times. I've been getting by with a 5 awake OKM. Clearing, well, I know, it's a 5 awake OKM. Doing what a 0 awake Elena does already better. So...
Free-to-play friendly 5 awake.
A 0 awakened Elena does what my fully awakened OKM does, but better. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, that's... I absolutely agree with the 5-star PvE rating.
I think it's just gone down, is all I'm saying. Because there's less and less guides today that require it or use it as much. I would put it at like 4.5. Well, she's not going to do half stars, so 5 is probably, for now, is good. I think in 2 months, given the next few blooms that are going to come out, I'd drop it to a 4, is my opinion. But I would say keep it at the 5 for now. And then he gave a 5, and you said 5 as well. So, with no time caveat attached to that. I put the time caveat, but what about you, Trop? Trop's not in PvE. Okay, PvP ranking. What do you guys say about Elena? And you should differentiate this between defense and offense, right? I don't want to say that typically, but I'll say it here. It's not that big of a deal. Like, if you're facing Elena, the ranking is a little higher. If you're using her, I would put her at a 3. I'm just going to say that. What about you guys?
Yeah, I don't...
Or maybe even a 2. I don't know.
Yeah, that's where I am as well. Like, she's kind of on the... Like, you could run some sort of hero, blitz where you've got, like, Terry or Dai and Elena and just try and charge in and kind of hope to kill enough things that what's left can't kill you, and she's got that evasion, so it's not the type of strategy we recommend here on the Arena Watch to be building towards. Like, a lot of times you're going to be taking risks of, do you dodge enough hits, do you get enough crits, and I don't really like her on offense. The line attack that dashes in at neutral damage is just not enough, and then her spin is really nice, like turn 2, but then she's like turn 2 and 3. I'd say she's improved with 3-turn Arena because there's more options for taking advantage of her AoE on turns 2 and 3. But her turn 1 is still pretty weak, so I think that knocks her down a notch. So, yeah, I'd say 2 to 3 is where I would put her. Of course, some people have her max awakened, and when you got her max awakened, it opens up some more options. But she's just not. She's too much variability.
More for the crit, though, right? Like, the crit is higher if she's max awake, is it?
No.
Does she get anything from being max awake? Just more stats?
Lots of stats and damage on her spin. Technically also damage on her fists, I think, but you don't really use the fists. So... It's mainly just the extra HP, the extra attack opens up, some stuff. But yeah, like I said, she's pretty variable, and she's got a relatively weak turn 1 for offense. So I'd say the 2 to 3 stars is pretty much where I'd end up as well.
Let's have Trop break that. Trop, 2 or 3. Elena.
On offense, and I'm trying to imagine because I don't have her, but on defense, yeah, it's On defense, maybe like a 3 or a 4, because there are so many people
3 and
that
4
don't know.
on defense. Yeah, because I wouldn't put her at 5. People freak out about her facing her, but yeah, 3 and 4 is pretty reasonable for defense. But like offense, just give your offensive score right now, because he doesn't have the defense up quite yet.
So it's a 3-move character with...
But it's linear, right? 3 move, 3 range, but it doesn't have the Crack or Kazap kind of 3 tiles. So it's kind of limited in range.
Like, I wouldn't use it if I had it.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it either.
Yep.
So
we'll say 2 stars.
2. Yeah, 2. It's unfortunate, I know. There's one guy that's going to be watching us. It's like, oh, Shark Eye, but yeah. But
then she's also hurt by her weight, being a hero.
Yeah. If she got some sort of trade-off for it, like extra awakening perks, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
Because she's an older unit.
Yeah, that absolutely comes into play when you're looking at...
So, 2 offense, and what would you say for facing her? If you're facing her, what is she?
I'd say she's like a 3-star for a skilled player and like a 5-star for unskilled, because you really have to know what you're doing against her.
Mm-hmm.
But once you know what you're doing, she's definitely one of the more popular targets for people as they get more.
Starscream hard disagrees, which I know is a lie. So there's it. He put a smiley face too. So just so we would be clear on that.
So that's she has the benefit of. When she's on an enemy team, you absolutely have to have a plan for dealing with her. The plan doesn't, it's not a difficult plan, but if you don't have the plan, she's incredibly difficult to face because she's going to move first. She's got the neutral hit that's always a threat to kill. She's got enough range with that 6 linear range to...
Who doesn't have the plan, though, right? Who doesn't have the plan? Most people have Great Dragon. Most people have Halberd, and that's almost already enough to kill her. Vendor Ghost. Like, even if you didn't have Dolmagus, you could still...
I'm saying...
Theoretically.
They have the units.
They just chose not to use them.
Yes, right. They go in with their typical arena team of Nocturnus and...
But I want to... I want to...
Carver and whoever else.
I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they did do... used whatever free units were available to them. They got unlucky on Dolmagus. They couldn't get him. They didn't have enough for the pity or whatever it was. They were saving up for somebody else. So they don't have Dolmagus. Is this a 4-star unit or a 3-star unit still? If you decide to use the Halberd, if you decide to use the Vendor Ghost, you decide to use Berimos.
Still the same.
Still the same. Still 3.
She's generally, like, probably I'd say 95% of the time, if not more, completely safe to face if you go in with the proper plan and proper team makeup.
Okay.
So you just have to not rely on hitting her with physical or martial, and preferably you bring a unit to confuse her.
Okay, so for us, we're going to say on defense, she's a 3. I think that's pretty clear. And for others that aren't prepared, a 5. But she is a 3. Like, if everybody eventually reaches the limit equation, reaches the horizon of figuring everything out eventually, they'll realize that she's also a 3, too, to face. So she's a 3 on defense. She's a 2 on PvP for offense for your own team. She is, you said 5 for PvE, and I said 4, but we'll say 5 for now. Archdemon, PvE. He put down a 4, and he didn't put anything down for PvP. I don't know what Archdemon would be for PvE. I know his agility doesn't matter. He could go for full damage. I've seen him on some clears for 37, so I think he's a great unit. I think 4 or 5 is perfectly... I mean, he has no utility. So it's mostly just the range and damage and the AoE nature of his ability. And just the stupid high wisdom that he gets, doesn't he? And potency. He has a really high wisdom, potency, and stuff like that boost that he gets. 30 wisdom here at the base. I think he gets a 25 for the mini node or something. Or 15 or 25, I can't remember. And then he gets 20% potency. So that's a lot. And he has a lot of cleave and a lot of range. So he's similar to KSS in that he can stand a bit farther back and still hit very far away. So, in fact, he doesn't have a tile that he jumps to, so he actually will generally hit more people than KSS might. And for an ability type that you probably don't have coverage for, I mean, who has Bang generally with that range, that level of damage? Squid is linear, though. Berimos. It's just Berimos, because his is AoE, right? Squid's it's linear. So, so it's not quite like this. Anything missing PvP is simply new or global. Okay, so we'll still give him the PvP rank. I'm going to say he's a 5. I'm going to say 5 for PvP. He hits pretty hard. If you build him full agility, that is either Beastmaster Claws or Hadler's Claws, he still hits hard with Brilliance. I think harder than KSS would. Wasn't that your experience, Trop?
But that's because it was spell week. I honestly think on a normal weeks.
Okay, so yeah, he's probably one step below KSS then, but he doesn't have the same jumping issue. He doesn't have to jump into combat. He could stay back. The thing that he's missing is his damage needs to scale off of something, right? And he's going to be stuck choosing between agility and wisdom. And I don't care about HP. So for a Voltron or a control team, he's gonna stay back and basically act the same way that Metazoa's Rapthorn would, but minus the shield, right? And it's gonna be Bang instead of Zam. So it's pretty strong. I think he hits harder than. Doesn't he hit harder than Rapthorn would with his Zam? He hits harder with his Bang than Rapthorn does with his Zam, right? Something like that?
I think they're pretty close. Rapthorn has the 30% damage boost, and Archdemon has the 20% damage boost with higher wisdom.
Have you seen any of the guides in PvE using Archdemon yet?
I haven't looked for them.
I've seen them. I think they're pretty good. And with a unit, if you're going to take me at my word that his damage is pretty nasty, and the fact that he can stay back helps with a lot of these comps for, tanking, and he doesn't even have to be covered sometimes by tanks because he's so far away.
Yeah, he's pretty bulky too, so like he's not.
Yeah.
Because they originally designed him to need to get up close with a 2-range Kaboom.
Yeah, they kind of made him like a brawler. Like the way, I want to say, Peacock was a brawler.
Yeah.
A bruiser, kind of.
But as far as PvP...
He's just below KSS, is what I would say. He's below KSS. But he's versatile, and it's niche, right? Bang is not as important as Sizz, but it's a coverage you don't have, and it's a good niche to have. So I would at least put him at 4 or 5 for the PvP, maybe 4, right? He's a solid PvP. I think he's better than Halberd. Halberd's still relevant today. He's better than Halberd. He's probably stronger than Great Dragon for his element type, right? Both are hitting the same range, let's say, overall. But he's hitting harder. He's hitting harder than Great Dragon is.
Yeah, his range means that he's able to fill those same spots that King She Slime is, so that's a huge bonus for his PvP potential.
I think he's better than Great Dragon. I think he is in Arena. Just a little. I would put him below KSS and above Great Dragon. I don't know.
Maybe.
Even though his is more niche. Even though his element's more niche.
I don't know if Bang is.
He just doesn't have a good leadership, though. So that's the only reason why. Because, you have the versatility of using Great Dragon with his leadership, but there's no real leadership to use with Archdemon. But I would put him in that big 3 category. He's definitely better than Metal Dragon, in my opinion, for Arena. So I will say that. It's just Metal Dragon, his thing is like neutral damage and great for, martial weeks and some other weeks. He's a great filler because it's like, you get consistent damage. He has good consistent damage, whereas Archdemon's definitely a niche. But you need one of each niche. So he's not... I'm going to rank him based on his niche. I'm not going to rank him outside of his niche. I would say he's a 4.
It also depends. Yeah, I think 4 is pretty solid, because I think Bang's a good attacking type, but I don't think it's on the level of Crack and Sizz.
Or neutral. Maybe. We'll see.
Or neutral. Neutral, I've run Dual Magus a lot since I got him, and having that neutral really opens up your options. You can never be completely walled by something just because you can't hit it for brilliant, or you only have the resisted tech. So I think Bang's probably about on the same level as I'd say 4 stars. I think he's neck and neck with.
You
with
have
Metal
you have no ranking yet for PvE.
For PvE.
Because we need to go through these really quick. There's still a lot that we haven't gotten through. We could just drop ratings pretty quick if we could try.
For PvE, I think he's on maybe 4 or 3, because he's got the MP regen, which is super useful. Mm-hmm. It's just he's only Bang damage, which in my experience loses a star.
Does White King uses Zamel often? I mean, he does sometimes, but it's not...
White King, I wouldn't rank as 5 stars, though.
Oh, I'm not saying he should be 5 stars in PvE, but, would he still be a 4-star for PvE? White King? So, Archdemon basically doing the same thing, wouldn't he?
Archdemon, yeah, that's what I would put him. I'd put him as effectively the same as White King, which would be probably...
I would put him just a little bit better, even though his is a more niche, obviously Bang than Whoosh. But I would put him above White King.
Yeah, and the thing is, White King only comes into play on 25 and 36. That's it. So. And
this guy comes onto the same thing. He's on 36 with White King on some of these clears.
Yeah.
Without any sort of cover, tank, or anything. And he's there with Veronica and some other people. Okay, so I would say, 4 and 4 for PvE, PvP. He's a solid unit. Better than Elena. Most certainly better than Elena. Okay, Berimos currently, he has sitting at 3 stars for PvE and 5 stars for PvP, which is interesting because Metazoa has so many other better units now that he doesn't even bother with Berimos for the control strat that he used to do. Because you could build Berimos if you have him 5 awakened. You can build him with Beastmaster Claw and kind of Blitz. Or he's slow enough that you could just not build him with that and he will, be outsped by everything.
Even with Beastmaster Claw and 5 awake, I don't think he's going to outspeed.
No, he's hitting 430 for I think...
Yeah, that's the bare minimum.
That wasn't even with the cloak. With what's his face? Was it Kage's? Yeah. So if he has a decent roll on his, if he got 555, I mean, not a lot of people got that. Nobu did.
If you're Nobu.
If you're Nobu, So if you're Nobu and you have a max awake Berimos, possibly, you know, Awaken Plus, and he's 5 points into the agility there, maybe you have him at, who knows, 450 for all I know. If you have your Berimos at 450, he could blitz. And if you want to do the opposite, he could do the opposite and be the slowest unit still. So having that super fast Berimos it's a very interesting caveat. Like, because Berimos would be good if you could do both. If you could always have the option to blitz and always have the option to control where you need to, I would rank him higher. But because you can't, I wouldn't put him at 5 stars. I've used him for the confusion, and I have found it useful. I just don't like the 65 weight.
Yeah, he's very heavy, and he definitely is, like, most of his value is in the guaranteed confusion. Though he does get a little bit of value from neutral damage, fan breath, plus guaranteed follow-up, because I'd put him at 4 stars because you are only...
Is that arena or PvE?
For PvP.
PvP.
Because you're only bringing him when there's a confusion weak enemy. And, usually it's like Elena, where she must be dealt with. If, maybe a metal dragon could be a similar,
I think he needs to put in parentheses then utility, because Archdemon in arena specifically would be stronger than Berimos, and they'd both be at, say, 4 star, right? I know Berimos does the neutral damage, Archdemon doesn't, but it's not a lot of neutral damage, so I would still say, Archdemon damage wise is much higher. So having them both in 4 star makes me feel bad. So I would put Berimos 4 star too, with the caveat that it's utility. Like, it's niche utility.
Yeah. I would say Berimos is a 5-star utility unit and a 3-star otherwise, or less probably.
Less.
Probably
I would 2 or 3 for the damage. 2 or 3 for the damage.
Yeah, that's why I put him as 4, is because you're only bringing him for the confusion. You're not bringing him for filling out.
That would have to be an asterisk, or that would have to be in a parentheses there, because it would be misleading to tell players invest in this guy over Archdemon. But yeah, because some people might think power.
I guess Trop's the only one of us. I haven't bloomed my Archdemon yet.
I'm all for Archdemon, and mine is 3 awake right now, so he's only going to get stronger as time goes on. I don't know how many wakes Trop has here, so
I'm sure it's 5.
You're sure it's high. So what was your PvE ranking again for Berimos? Just to be clear, PvE
for Berimos,
probably 1 star.
1 star PvE. So there's never a unit that he could confuse. I mean, because I've definitely brought pickled slime to confuse things. I could have easily just brought Berimos instead. But I guess it is a hefty.
Almost all of the confusion stages, you need to reach a level of speed that Berimos can't.
I think he can with Beast. Maybe.
I'm sure he can't. He's almost useless in PvE. Maybe
put him at. Well, here's the difference: is pickled slime doesn't cost a whole crap ton of gold to be able to get his confusion off. That's what I would say. Berimos needs a Beastmaster Claw and a lot of gold and blossoming, materials to do that. So
I don't even know if he can, because
he could confuse that living statue with the peacock stage. He could do it.
How many times? He might run out of mana if you don't kill it fast enough.
I think you could kill it fast enough. Okay, fair enough. I don't know. There might be one that requires AoE confusion one of these days, and it's very easy.
If there's ever a stage that requires AoE confusion,
I wouldn't put him at 1 though. I would put him at. I would keep him at 2 or 3. And I would definitely drop him to 4 for the arena, and I would put a huge caveat there that it's utility only. Okay, moving on to Dragon Lord. what do you? I'm not gonna spoil it. What's the PVE and PvP rank right off the bat for you?
PVE.
Wait. Archdemon, do you have a PvP defense and Berimos PvP defense? Really quick, just throw quick ratings out there. I know he doesn't have it listed.
Berimos is higher. You've got that randomness, which you hate facing. He's fairly bulky, so I'd put him at probably a 4. Probably put him at 4 stars.
And you would remove the caveat there at that point. Take off the caveat. Yep. Just he is a 4-star for defense. And Archdemon? Yeah.
Archdemon, I think I'm going to actually lower him for defense because all he has is that range and damage. So your enemies are going to be better prepared for it. So I'd put him at probably 2, maybe 3 stars. Just because
What's his weaknesses? It's zap and whoosh?
Whoosh and zap.
That's
He's got
awkward.
good weaknesses.
Yeah.
But again, you people can be prepared for him. So he's not nearly as good on defense. He doesn't have anything beyond his above average.
Sizz bang resistance. The bang resistance not important, but Sizz could be.
This is good. Yeah. I'd say I'll give him 3. I don't know if he's even that good, but he's not bad on defense.
Okay.
He just doesn't have anything
moving
special.
on to Dragon. I'm short on time. Moving on to Dragon Lord, we got PvE, PvP, and then PvP defense. What are your? Just start with the stars, and we'll break down really quick for all of that.
PvE 5 stars. PvP, I'm gonna give him. Maybe 4.
I wouldn't give him a 4. I would give him a 3. I would use him over Elena for sure, but I don't know because he's niche use for me so it's like spell weeks and stuff like that. And if I'm baiting,
yeah, he's got the dual element. He's got one of the better ranges for a caster. He's solid. His downfall is really the weight. Like it's difficult for me to justify. Now I don't use him because mine's 0 week, but if you're using a Dark Lord, it's usually Dragon Lord True Form or Nocturnus,
and that's the next one on this list.
Yeah, and like I don't think like it's really the weight that pulls him down to 3 stars. I think.
Okay, so PvE 5, and I agree with that. PvE 5, PvP, offense 3, and what would you put him as defense? Because I agree with the 3 on the PvP offense.
I'll give him a 4 on defense. He's can be very difficult to deal with if
he's
you're not.
He's crit me so many times.
Yeah, if you don't have a team that can. He's gotten easier to deal with KSS and Great Dragon now that a lot of time has gone by. Most people have those higher awakened and bloomed, but he still demands attention. He demands respect to be able to make sure. And even then, like people can still get messed up by his self heal can crit because it's a spell or classified as a spell. So that sometimes does mess people up depending on their plan for handling him. So I think I'll give him a 4 on defense.
I agree. Just the fact that he could crit. But he's way easier to deal with now. Basically, for me, dealing with him on defense is similar to dealing with Elena. I just have the right kill for him. Yep. Okay, moving on to Dragon Lord's True Form. And I think it's Dragon Lord's True Form. Technically in the game, that's how it's written.
I think so.
I think so. But we have, what would you give him? PvE, PvP, offense, and then defense.
I am giving him 5-star across the board. Dragon Lord True Form is one of my favorite units. PvE, he is kind of a jack of all trades. He's actually my recommendation for new players. Like if you want immediate power, with your Dark Lord pick, I recommend Dragon Lord True Form if you want to focus on getting the most power out of it immediately. I think Malroth is better long term, and Dragon Lord probably right behind him. But Dragon Lord True Form with the massive damage. Yep. So he's got massive frizz damage, which comes into play on a bunch of stages. A lot of the same ones that Dragon Lord works on. He's got massive effective health with his self-healing and high health pool, which has come into play on a bunch of hard stages for me, and comes into play if you're starting out, just wanting to get through stages. That comes into play. And then he's got, a powerful neutral attack, so he's never walled off by anything. I see him just as a jack of all trades that can really be thrown into just about any team, and a lot of times he just has all the tools to make it work.
So, out of all those 5 across the board ratings, which one is which one of those 3 is the closest to teetering on being 4?
I don't even know.
I think arena defense, his 5 is guaranteed for sure.
Yeah, I think arena offense is the closest to teetering because you only bring him, or I only bring him. He's 65 weight, so that makes it very difficult to get 5 stars on offense. But he's still fantastic when you need to hit something frizz weak, which there are some major threats, Duel, Nocturnus.
If you had Hybrid, would you still bring him for offense? If it was bloomed, Hybrid was bloomed. Because are you using him more for the...
I use him for Draconic Flame.
Okay, gotcha.
I will say I expect to replace him on offense with Greynarl. Greynarl has the single target frizz with 1 extra range. I think it's 2 to 4 instead of 1 to 3.
And it's all variable range, yeah. Basically.
So, it's a similar amount of damage. I think it's just barely less on the base, but he's a dragon, so he gets the leadership bonus. So, right now, I'd say he's probably still 5-star. He's one of the most common Dark
What was
Lords
the last week you used
arena.
him on? How many weeks ago did you use him last?
Probably Spell Week.
Why? Why so long ago?
Wait, what was 2 weeks ago?
That's a long time for me.
Last week
well, we had an A rank week. No, I can't.
Yeah. So, he's. I think he is about to get kind of pushed out by anyone that does pull Greynarl. Hopefully, multiple Greynarl. The one experience I have with a banner dragon in Dimension Dragon is that he's very squishy and at only 1 awaken. So,
are there
losing out on the massive bulk that is Dragon Lord True Form will be a difficult adjustment.
Better frizz units than him on PvE? Are there? Does Elena hit harder than him when she crits?
When she crits, yeah. But
well, that's the whole point. You're doing a crit strat with her usually.
I use them both on 31. I used them both on Anniversary Tower 48, I think it was.
Did you use them on Sorrow on the all-out battle for Nimzo?
Yeah, use them on that
one.
Because
I did on the lower one, but on the higher difficulty, I actually didn't even use him for that. Yeah. I used other people.
Yeah, I think you use him on the all-out battle with the dual Elena.
The first attempt.
DLTF
I did it for the first attempt, I think, on the very hard. But on the EX, I actually did. Yeah, I did dual. I did. Was it Nocturnus? Dual Nocturnus, and I gave Nocturnus agility. Seraphy, Jessica, And was it not? Was that Dragon Lord? No, it must have been somebody else.
A lot of them used Nimzo. I don't know if you did. Grandmaster Nimzo.
No, I didn't have Nimzo, so I was resorted to using somebody else that had the similar resistances or something.
Yeah. But
no, it might have been him. I think I used him. then.
Yeah, his PvE rank isn't from pure.
Mine is 0 weight.
It's just from versatility, because there's a good number of stages where he just completely nullifies. 23, he can solo the Peacock after you get him to the Zap stage. 24, he can solo or close to solo the Emperor Slime when you get the Slime Heart down. Like I said, Dragon Tower or the Anniversary Tower, he was the only unit with the bulk to tank all the hits that were needed for clearing that stage. He's very, very useful, which is why I put him at 5-star as just general use. The only time these ratings are going down is once when Greynarl is present, but you'd still think that on PvP defense, he would probably still stay at a 5 even if Greynarl was here. Let's say he drops down to 4 for PvP offense and possibly PvE. Would you be able to use Greynarl in the place of True Form in PvE if you had, let's say, Max Awake, because you need the Dragon Scale, you need all those things. Have the Dragon Scale, maybe. Okay. But I don't think that's a reason to drop Dragon or 4 down.
Okay, so all of these are at 5. He'll be at 4 for offense once when Greynarl's here. Okay, moving on to Dread Dragon. Stars across the board. What are Dread Dragon's stars across the board? He's, what, all Sizz damage?
Yep, all Sizz damage.
I think he's worse than Archdemon. People said he was better, but I think he's worse. They're both mono element, right? And they have similar range, but
mono element.
But his isn't AoE. So I don't know. It's a weaker ratio than True Form.
It's pretty hard. Yeah, it's not much, but it is a little bit weaker than True Form. But it is Sizz, which is a generally better element than Frizz. He gets Dragon Scale. I think that I would still put Dread Dragon at 4 stars.
For which one?
I think for arena offense. I think he's not going to have much use in
I think he's
PvE.
going to be 3, but I'll go with that. Let's say 4. Because I don't want to put him on the same tier as Arch.
I run Dragon so much.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have the leadership.
I run Dragon so much.
Yeah, you're going to have the
leadership. Yeah. He's almost a straight upgrade over Halberd for the Breath team. Because the fan Volcanic Breath is so weak nowadays that single target. Like I said, I use Dragon Lord True Form. Having a huge single target nuke is really nice. He's very fast. He's got the range. He's got the right ability typing, and he's got the right family and Dragon.
Okay, we'll put him at 4 then.
I think he's going to be yeah. Now, I will say he's 4 for people that are running Great Dragon.
Okay.
Like, if you're not running
then he's at 3.
a Great Dragon already, then he'll go down to 3. But
okay.
I think the Great Dragon, like that's my standard team is
and such a common
rotate between Breath and Marshall, and Breath is still a really strong comp. It's really reliable. It's great for the digital communism.
Does he have Dragon Scale? Dread Dragon?
He does.
Okay, so there you go. So that's good. What is he for PvE then? Because Dragon Scale helps there. What is he for PvE? Do we know? Have we seen him on any guides? I don't think I have, but did we lose Celery? I might have to return to this, because if I don't have Celery here, I'm going to have to review this a second time, because I got a show to do at 7, and it's 5:50 right now. So if we lost Celery... Yeah, we lost Celery. Is he back? I don't know.
There we go. I'm back.
Yep, he's back. Okay. I had to think, because like I said, I'm very, 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 very short on time, so we're going to have to zoom through these. I think Dragon Scale is going to affect his PvE rating, but where would you... What's the number you would give him?
Currently 3 stars. That could easily go up if we start seeing that he has the right resistances. He's got all the right tools to be good in PvE. I just don't know where yet.
Okay, and PvP defense?
If you're wet, it's gonna make it worse.
He's fast, so maybe about the same.
I'll put him 4.
Okay, so 3, 4, 4. Basically, because that's the way we're going here. 3, 4, 4. Sorry, we're gonna have to zoom through these. Great Dragon, really quick. I would say for PvP, I use Great Dragon in PvE all the time. I would at least put him where Great Dragon is. His MP is great. His abilities are very cheap. He has great AoE, crack damage that is consistent. I like Great Dragon on PvP. I would give him a 4. I mean 4 for PvE. 4 or 5 maybe. Who knows? Well, I use him a lot. I use him a lot on PvE. I've rarely used Dragon Lord's True Form on PvE because mine is 0 awake. I've only really used him once. Great Dragon I use all the time, and most people are going to have him at max awake. So I would soundly put him at 4 or higher for PvE, because I think most people would have decent awakenings. PvP 5. He's still a 5. It's gonna go down, I think, because the damage is capped. It really is limited. So it's only going down. PV defense. I don't know. He is sometimes annoying to face on defense, I'll say that. So I'll keep him about the same. All right, really quick, the star ratings across the board.
I agree. I think Great Dragon is currently 5 across the board. PvE, I give him that because of how many stages he gets used on in Blossoming Door. Mm-hmm. He's easily a top contender for your first Blossom if you want to advance in the Blossoming Door. PvP, like you said, offense. He's just starting to wane on offense because the damage numbers are getting. He's starting to be a little bit low, but crack is still an excellent element, and his leadership is still amazing for running those Dragon Breath teams, which are getting better with you'll finally be able to run a full Dragon Breath team here soon with DQ9. And then defense, a 4 or 5 easy, mainly because of his speed, bulk. Like he's really obnoxious if you're not bringing a zap or whoosh that can really neutralize him, take him out quick. He's just not that easy to deal with. I've noticed. Okay. So I'd say easily 4 or 5 stars on defense. So
Halberd Saurus is going to have Dragon Scale, just like Dread Dragon. He's not going to be as useful PvP because, obviously it's a Stark range for the attack, which is going to only happen turn 2 and 3. He probably is going to survive quite a bit better than a Stark will. He's going to have a lot more HP, I think, than most of Starks will. He's going to be max awakened. He's going to have all the, the resistances that a Stark won't probably have. He's going to be a little bit faster, probably. You still get, like, the basic agility nodes, which I'm looking forward to, which on Halberd probably the most. It's just the fact that he gets a few points more agility, so he gets stuck out of that 430, 420 kind of range, and pops back up to like the 440s, 450s. That would be great. I like I mentioned this week, if his bloom was out for this week, that would have been amazing, right? Because you'd pair him, give him leadership, bring bot on, and just go ham on the enemy team, and bring bot on and Boreal, and you would just destroy the enemy team. Turn to whatever you need to do, or whatever the case. He's a better Stark than a Stark, but Sizz. That's what I'm gonna say about him.
With a better a Stark with a better element.
Dragon Scale is better than a Stark's heal is, in my opinion, because it just happens right away, and it's guaranteed. Yeah, I don't know how I'd rate him for PvP, PvE, or defense yet, because we just haven't seen it, and I've seen how useful a Stark is because he keeps, his attack keeps stacking up. His attack stacks never go away. So a Stark's pretty good on PvP for that reason. Halberd doesn't quite have that, but has the same attack that he does, but Sizz. So I don't know how it's going to affect Halberd yet, because he doesn't have that, but he has more heal. So he might be even, I don't know, better on... I've already seen him being used for his attack down on some PvE stages. So having the heal there would have been even better. So I don't know. He might be a 4, he might be a 5. I don't know what he's going to be for PvE. For PvP, he's probably about the same that he was. And which is like, he's probably going to stay a 3 or 4 for PvP. And defense, he's going to be very annoying. So on defense, he's going to be a 5. I'm just going to say he's going to be a 5. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I'll say he's going to be a 5 for defense. And I'll give him probably like a 4 for offense, or 3. Which he is a 3 or 2 now for offense. But he would definitely be a 3 or maybe a 4 with the bloom. And for PvP, PvE might be anywhere from 4 to 5. I really don't know how it's going to come into play. So.
Yeah, I think Halberd is I'm going to go ahead and say 5-star PvE. He's one of the tankiest units already. So I think that bloom only helps him there. That he's going to do the job he already does better. I think he's going to be, just with. He'll serve a lot of the same role as Dragonwood True Form as a possible like off tank type.
But also somewhat Stark, and because he had this one stage where he was doing attack down. Like a few stages, and it wasn't a lot, but there's a few stages
he gets used for that fairly frequently
for budget clears. Yeah, but that's a budget clear. I think most people will have some unit that's like a key unit that could boost.
Yeah, I would say he's probably got enough utility to make that 5-star ranking for PvE. I agree with you on offense and defense. I think he's going to be a 5-star defense because he's going to be very difficult to deal with.
Anything with Dragon Scale
not easy to
almost
deal with.
5-star.
So, yeah, adding Dragon Scale, adding the extra HP from Bloom, adding a true threat in his new attack, because right now he doesn't really threaten. Yeah, on turn 2 and 3, or even turn 1 if you run up, like, because he's not that fast. So. Like the fact that you have to give him a lot more respect on defense with after the bloom, I think he will absolutely be 5-star on defense. And like you said, right now 2 to 3, and after bloom 3 to 4, I think is completely accurate. He's got a great element, but he's still going to be a little bit limited on range. I think 4 is solid. He's that dragon boosts him again. And Volcanic Flame, while it's not great anymore, is still it's still a chunk of damage. It's good chip damage. It's solid, and being able to follow that up turns 2 and 3 with a Sizz slash is pretty solid. I think I'll give him 4 for now. Maybe we'll see that it's not enough and that he runs into the same issues as Stark does.
Yeah, Hell Gladiator. Across the board, I don't know. His PvE use is pretty unique. I think his breath is going to be a bit more consistent than his slashes are, because it's just like, what, is it 60% odds, I think? And it's AoE?
It starts at 60.
Which is pretty good.
So
so 60%, and he doesn't have any sort of passive or anything that will boost it, so it's just going to be stuck at 60. And it's AoE, so it's like, that's pretty good. That's a bit better. But the weird thing about his breath is he's usually going to step in, right, for his leadership. I don't think all stages he will, but he usually steps in for his leadership, so it's like his breath, the very edges of it don't fit into his leadership, which is kind of weird.
He has to step back.
So it's like,
step back.
When I do my 39 clear on 39, I don't actually give him leadership because I need it on somebody else.
I don't use it.
So it could work there, maybe, if I didn't want to use the poison slashes for whatever reason. But I'm probably going to use the poison slashes anyway, so it doesn't really boost him. It's a weird ability. I don't know. But yeah, I think he's about the same then. He hasn't changed much.
Yeah, I'll say that the bloom really doesn't change him for PvE. He's still a 1-star/5-star. You either need him or you don't.
They have him here as a 3-star. So that's a very niche use.
That's why I say.
And then for PvP and defense,
you don't need him. And he's 5-star. For offense, after bloom, I still think he's probably only like 3-star. Like it'll depend on the damage of the breath, but it probably won't be.
Just the range of it's nice.
It's nice, but
it's not amazing. Like, does he have +1 move?
He doesn't. I believe he gets plus move.
I don't know, because if he doesn't, then he's kind of lame. If he does get the plus move, then he's kind of like Berimos, but with a poison breath rather than a whatever breath. So.
Yeah, but poison is not as good as confusion.
It's not. I meant for the damage-wise.
He's very
he has chip damage, which would already make him better than a lane.
He's got a lot of. He's got a very high health pool, but he has terrible resistances in prison Sizz, and he doesn't. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be really. I'd still put him at 2 or 3 after bloom for offense. I think defense, he's going to be interesting. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna put him at 3, maybe 4, because I think he'll have a good.
It's like Malroth, but not as good.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a decent chance of making people lose points by either the breath envenomating things or his explosion on death envenomating things. I don't think it's going to be hard enough to play around to really boost him up. So I think I'll give him a 3 because he'll require you to take it into consideration, but I just don't see him as being hard enough to deal with. So maybe once we see guild versus guild, that'll change. But I'm going to start him off at a 3.
Yeah, I think his arena defense is a solid case for arena defense, but it's like Malroth, but not as good. Moving on to Hybrid, I used to use him pretty much exclusively for his leadership, and I guess his agility, movement, some stuff like that, his sweet breath that I taught him. But post-bloom, he pretty much, he has a weird thing. He kind of gears up, right? Like, if he has 3 targets with his fire, then his breath gets significantly stronger. Significantly, right? It gets 3 stacks of breath damage up. Yep. But if he doesn't get those 3 stacks, then he's not that powerful, right? If he only gets 2 stacks, or if he only gets 1 stack from turn 1, which he's not going to hit that hard, it's going to be a bit tricky using him, moving him in, and then trying to do his thing. So I don't know. I don't know about Hybrid. I could still see some PvE use. I don't know if maybe 2 stars is accurate, because before I would have gave him a 1, right? Because I was only using him for his leadership, which is basically 1-star rating or half-star rating. And now he has decent damage, and I think he has a mana pool to... It's a cheap ability. Fire will be a very cheap ability. He could make very good use out of it, I think.
Yep. I think PvE, I think I'm gonna put him up at 3, maybe even 4 stars, because...
He should be similar to like a Frizz version of Great Dragon, no?
Exactly.
For PvE?
He's a Frizz version of Great Dragon. The only reason he's not up there at 5-star with Great Dragon is because Frizz isn't as prevalent.
And he doesn't have any leadership he could get for his breath other than, Nimzo. He would have to use his own leadership.
He can use his own leadership, but his own leadership is very strong on
if it reaches.
If it
reaches.
Before everyone was clearing Viz Major 10 with Jessica, like how who's it?
That's how I did it.
Hybrid was the way to go.
Because I didn't have Jessica, I was always doing hybrid
leadership. Yep, and well, we both cleared before Jessica came out.
Yeah,
and so it's a very strong leadership when it's needed. It's just tends to not be necessary as often as heavy crack damage like Great Dragon is.
The advantage
I think he's going to be very solid in PvP. I said 3 or 4 stars. PvP.
The only advantage he has over Great Dragon in PvP is the 4 movement, which surprisingly could be useful. And he just has to really ramp himself up before he's good, 2 and 3. And Great Dragon that's when his leadership really shines, right? Great Dragon has the 15%, and was it 10% and 15% from his awakening, or is it, Blossom, or is it 20 and 15?
20%, 15, yeah.
And then
he has like 72% potency or something like that from maybe 74 now.
Which is weird.
It's a massive amount of potency.
Yeah.
So
hybrid has to.
Yeah, the ramp up for hybrid, I think, is going to be difficult for PvP. He's got a lot of potential with that 4 move, but he's not going to hit hard turn 1, and that I think might be his downfall until we see it in action. I think I'm going to be cautious and say, I think 3-star. I think he very well might be 4-star. It just depends on how effective you can be at getting him ramped up on turn 1 and without putting him at risk.
He's definitely not Great Dragon, is what I'll say. So he's at least 1 or 2 stars below him, which is unfortunate. I like the versatility. I like the consistency. If we had better Frizz or breath leaderships out there, he might climb his way back up. But for now, he can't.
Yeah. The loss of that leadership hurts him compared to Great Dragon. The no immediate power hurts him. But like I said, I'm happy
what about
putting him at a
defense?
3. Defense, honestly, I think he's going to be even lower.
I think he might be higher. He might be lower, he might be higher, because you might have that unit that's very on the edges of maybe you have nowhere to put your unit that he can't hit you. He's like Claria, basically, but he will attack you. You know what I mean? So he could be very dangerous.
Got that massive brain. I just don't think there's anything that you're going to be bringing against one that you're actually going to be worried about being hit.
Gotcha.
Turn 1. He's still fragile. That he's going to run up. He's going to hit stuff. You probably most of the time he's going to hit resisted stuff. But even if he doesn't, he's going to get killed immediately. I have a feeling he's going to run up hit a bunch of stuff for moderate damage and die. And I don't know if that's ever gonna be a... Like, maybe if there's a defense strat that's all really high, really fast, breath, like basically the defense blitz team, where you just hope to get a kill or two while all your units all charge in and they can't move before you or take out your units before most of them go. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's an effective strategy for taking out at least a couple units and causing making it very difficult to perfect.
All right, we're gonna have to zoom through the S units. There's quite a few left, and we're gonna have to skip the A's. And I'm really mean, like zoom through these S units, and then we'll save the A's and below for another week because I'm running low on time. Let me say which units we have left so we understand the scale of this. KM, KSS, Kirill, Gorsby Purvis, Malroth, Metal Dragon, Nightclubber, Party Animal, Juliante, Prism Peacock, Queen Slime, Santa, Crystalinda, Spooky, Valencia, Squidzilla. Okay, let's start. I gotta be done in like 10-15 minutes here, so we can't.
All right.
But KM has very unique crack, kind of highest crack physical damage. So PvE, PvP. We can go back and if Giovanni needs more analysis on why we're giving the stars, we'll tell him later on different streams. I might just stream during the weekday and get it out of the way before the next arena watch. But let's at least get him our rankings here for the S units. So just solid stars. What would you give Killing Machine across the board here?
I'm going to say 3-star PvE, 1-star PvP offense, and probably 1-star defense.
Okay, KSS.
KSS, like 2 stars PvE, 5 stars PvP, and maybe 3 defense.
3 defense, interesting.
I don't.
Because his weakness types are pretty good, and he does often go pretty fast.
Yeah.
With the claws.
I just find him not terribly difficult to bait.
I mean, he'd at least be harder than Great Dragon, right? Because you made Dragon Lord higher than him.
Yep. Yeah, well, Great Dragon, I feel.
No, not Great Dragon. Sorry. I meant Dragon Lord. Dragon Lord. You made Dragon Lord higher than him earlier on defense.
On defense, yes, because Dragon Lord is slow, so you have to be more concerned with him going after you, and Dragon Lord has multiple attacking types, so you have to be more concerned with what you put in range of him.
Gotcha.
KSS is fast, so you just put something Sizz resistant in range, he charges up and does nothing.
Kirill across the board.
Kirill, PvE, he's like a 2-star. He only works in very certain comps. You have to have enough mages for it to work. It's very limited in scope. He's good at what he does, it's just so limited in scope. Not a great investment overall for value. PvP, I'm gonna say the same. I know some people like bringing him on like mage comps and stuff, but I don't think 60. Yeah, I don't think 60 weight for buffing some mages is better than just bringing another mage. Mm-hmm. That's just my feelings on it. Maybe. If you're going up against like Marshall and Breath, so you're not going to be crit, then that healing can really come into play. But I think he's still pretty low on for PvP. Offense, defense, I'm going to put him up at like 4, just because he's tanky, he's annoying, he goesn't move up, he stays back and buff. I'll put him pretty high on defense. I'll put him at 4.
Okay, Gorsby Purvis, we haven't seen... Have you looked into his bloom? I haven't much. really.
Not much. I know he's going to hit hard with Zap and have a high crit chance.
We'll take his rating here at face value then. So he's similar to Elena if he's going to have a high crit chance as far as PvE is concerned. So we're just going to skip this one. How's that?
Yep.
Malroth, 5-star. I would give him a 6-star for PvE.
PvE.
He breaks past everything here.
He doesn't. I don't think his bloom is going to add a lot. It's really nice because it actually buffs his sleep and poison chance.
Yeah, and I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered anymore. The hours that you spend every month, I can't be bothered.
That's going to save a lot of time.
Oh my god. The time is the barrier here. It's the wall. It's the soft cap, man. I can't deal with it. He's everything. It's everything.
Yeah. All right. And then PvP offense and defense. I think he's probably a solid 5-star until we see otherwise.
He's 5-star across the board then, right? Because he's similar to Marquis de Leon with his neutral kind of martial attacks, but his could do the lateral thing on offense. I think he's higher on defense. I've seen what people have posted about him. He's nasty. He's the worst. He's the worst unit to face on defense, I think. I would give him a 6, just like I would give him a 6.
Yeah, he's very difficult to deal with on defense because...
But yeah, he's a 4 or 5 on offense.
His passive, all of his attacks are neutral damage and have status effects. He's going to be a huge pain to deal with.
Would you rather use Malroth with his bloom for neutral martial damage with that kind of line? It's kind of like Evil Glint, right? It actually has Glint in the name. So it's going to be like a Poison Glint or some other kind of Glint rather than Evil Glint, but
it's a paralyzed,
paralyzed Glint or something, right? Yeah. So
it's going to be a crazy strong.
So would you rather use him or Metal Dragon? It's the missile versus using that paralyzed Glint.
Almost certainly Malroth. The only time otherwise if I can't fit that extra 15 weight.
Yeah, because the next thing he has on the list here, he has 5 and 5 for Metal Dragon. I would give Metal Dragon a 5 for PvE. I would not give him a 5 for PvP. I often skip him. He's a very good filler unit for good neutral damage. But he will be replaced by Malroth for me when he is bloomed. So I would give Metal Dragon a 3 or a 4 probably for I don't know, PvP offense. I don't know what I'd give him for defense, but I certainly think Malroth is higher for offense. There's no question.
Metal Dragon absolutely gets a 5-star on PvE. He's one of the most versatile with that infinite damage from follow-up missiles.
Though it is rare, which is the only annoying thing about it.
Yep.
Mom does that better than he does, but it's not neutral.
And only twice.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Forgot about that.
But PvP offense, I think he has dropped off. He used to be higher, but with the damage scaling or damage creep that's coming into the game, his missiles are kind of falling off in effectiveness. So he's not as good on offense as he used to be. He's a solid filler. I think that might still get him that 4th star. That he's still a great unit to bring when you don't know what else to put on your team. Defense, I think he's still, if he's not 5-star, he's a really good 4-star. He's very tanky. He's got great resistances, and he's a huge threat if you let anything else attack when they're in his range because of that 20% follow-up.
Okay, moving on to Nightclubber. The PV across the board, I mean, defense, I would just straight up give him a 5, and I think you would agree. Offense and defense. Sorry, our offense and the PvE.
I've heard some amazing things about his potential in PvE, so we're gonna set him at 5 stars for now. That
for
he
now,
can just do. He can do massive damage to groups of enemies. I've heard there's a JP video of Nightclubber clears for 36 through 40.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 40 minutes long.
Okay. And PvP offense?
PvP offense, I think Nightclubber is going to be one of the most accessible and possibly even one of the best Voltron centerpieces. We'll put him at...
There's a skill cap on using Voltron.
Yep, yeah, it's gonna, it takes some skill and it's a different strategy, but I think we'll put him at, let's try 4 stars for now. I think he requires a specific strategy, but he's accessible. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. And defense, 5 stars. You absolutely need to have a plan for him, or he could easily mess you up.
Juliante, without mentioning it, she's really a Voltron kind of powerhouse and agility. So across the board, just give her a rating. Juliante.
I don't have her.
Okay, we can skip her.
What I've seen of her, I think she's possibly like 4 to 5 stars across the board. She's great in PvE for bang damage and speed and resistances occasionally. She's great on offense.
I would still think that Archdemon outpaces her with the bang damage because his is AoE, better range. But for the Voltron strat, actually building up a team, if she was part of a team like that and you're building around, then it'd go up a bit. So I don't know. I don't know what to rate her. So we'll just go with your rating across the board, maybe, because I would just give her a 3 across the board, honestly.
Defense, I found her incredibly obnoxious because you basically have to try and bait a bang attack with a heavy resist unit, or else she's going to hang back and buff, and then you can't move up because she's going to move first on turn 2 as well.
So she's like a 4 or 5 sometimes because of what you just explained for defense. But I would think for PvE and PvP offense, I would put her both as 3-ish. I don't know, because I don't know. Prism Peacock, we gotta move along. Across the board without explaining it.
1 star.
1 star. Successful. Yeah. Okay, great. Queen Slime across the board is going to be similar to KSS. I think her utility is going to be a bit better in PvE. She has regen. He doesn't. So she could be like even a 4 for PvE. I don't know, for all I know. Right? She'll be like Great Dragon maybe if she has regen. She has great.
Regen. She has an attack that doesn't dash her, so she doesn't have to dash. She can keep using the chains.
But that's the older calculation for martial damage rather than the newer. So it'll be weaker.
It's older, but it's like mid tier. It hits harder than like Cremate and stuff.
No, it should hit about the same as Cremate.
I'm like 99% sure it hits harder than Cremate.
I doubt it. I mean, it could with leaderships and stuff. Okay, so PvP, it would have to be 5 because KSS is 5. The only difference is KSS probably you have more awakenings. Defense, it's about the same as KSS is, but better. Because honestly, what is he going to do? He's going to... The charm could be devastating, you never know.
Yep.
Alright, moving on. Go.
Yeah.
Sorry. Say your rating, and we're gonna move to Crystal Linda.
Well, I'll say 4 stars. I think crack is harder to deal with, and the charm is much more worrying than the physical lock.
Gotcha. So Crystal Linda, I went across the board or something. I don't know.
I have no idea. I think she's
might be better than Zoma. I don't know. But she's locked to her type.
And I don't think she's good on PvE
not,
that.
No.
So I'm gonna give her a 1 star on PvE. because I don't have her, but I also never see her in videos. Like, she's just not great for PvE. PvP offense, she's one of the better leaders for spell teams. Up until Corvus Fallen Angel, or like the angel form, not the Demon King form. And she's got a decent combination of elements in Crack and Zam. So I'll give her 3 stars. Like, you just don't have, until Corvus, you don't have any options for spell leadership other than Crystalinda.
Mortimer.
Mortimer's 15 extra weight.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't think she really needs much of a defense rating.
Stars. Yeah, defense. I don't think she's like maybe 2 stars, maybe 1 star. I don't think she brings anything.
This unit, you're probably gonna have a better take than me. I only have him 1 awake, and for a long time it was 0. Squidzilla.
Squidzilla is fantastic PvE, really good. Like, I'd probably say 4 to 5 stars PvE. He's
depends on your awakenings, right? Because mine doesn't. I don't have any resistances on mine.
Yeah, you need the awakenings, you need the resistances, but he's very useful. Hits massively hard in bang damage, and has that extreme 7 range when he's at full health, and as long as he can use that dash. So he's up at 4 or 5 stars on PvE. PvP, I'd probably put him at 4. I think 4. He's got a lot of bulk. He can reach a lot. He's very solid as bang. I think he's on the same level as Archdemon.
I don't know. I feel like he's an annoying. If you don't damage him first, right? He could be an annoying unit to face. But I don't know if he's as strong as Archdemon. I still think Archdemon's more consistent with the range. They're both slow, and they both obviously their damage wouldn't be high, but they both need to build agility in a sense. Maybe Archdemon with the control doesn't, but which makes him more versatile in that case. So I don't know. I think Archdemon, again, my Archdemon's 3 awake. My Squid is 1 awake. Your Squid is max awake. I don't know what your Archdemon is, and I don't think you've bloomed him.
2. I haven't bloomed him yet.
Yeah. So it really depends, honestly. I think Archdemon is if I was gauging Squid based on having more resistances, with more awakenings and being stronger and faster and whatnot, I don't think he's better than Archdemon. I would put them both in the same rating because you just kind of have to. They're not too far apart. I still think Archdemon's stronger than Squid.
They fill a lot of the same role because they both have long range.
I would hate to face Squid more though than Archdemon. So I'll say that about him. I don't know where that would put them in terms of rankings for the defense, but I would hate to face Squid more, which is weird, but I really would. Anyways, I think that covers everything for now. Until we touch back up on this, I really need to go. Anyways, guys, this has been The Pack. If you want to join The Pack with The Pack, go ahead and subscribe down below. If you like this video, then like this video. If you have something to say, write down in the comments down below. If you want to support the Arena Chronicles, go ahead and share. If you want to see more Arena Watch podcasts, go ahead and share. If you want to see more Arena Watch podcasts, go ahead and hit that bell icon for notifications, guys, to stay on Twitch. Join Kage's gaming Discord server for all the best underground DQD conversations, and join my server for all the best DQD guides. Anyways, guys, this has been The Pack. Oh, Metazoa popped in. When did
How you doing, everyone?
Late to the... I gotta go, man. I got a show to do. If you want... Meta, if you want... Start another podcast. I gotta be out.
I was actually just saying, I just finished up my video. I was checking in on you guys.
Okay, everybody tune into Meta's channel to watch that. It's going to take a minute to process, but who knows? If you live stream something, if you live stream, you could podcast because you can't live stream on my channel. I just got to go. But anyways, guys,
no, you're golden.
This has been The Pack signing up. Peace.
Bye.